Oh man, can't wait to come home and pay $70 on this brand new magic-slinging action adventure with a touch of witty dialogue-like game. I mean, I can only buy one game a year, but how can it go wrong? This game looks dope as heck. Oh, okay, I guess I won't be playing that. How about some survival horror? Surely that's still good. I mean, it's from reputable developers. How could it possibly... Alrighty, maybe I should go with something from my childhood. Maybe some, I don't know, good old Five Nights at Freddy's. Wait. My RAM stick died from playing this. How the f*** is that even possible? Hi, has this ever happened to you? No, not having a RAM stick literally die from playing a bad game. Yes, that actually happened. I'm talking about looking at a bunch of modern releases and feeling that feel of hopeless emptiness as you look at how bad modern big budget games seem to have become. Technical issues are a must-have on launch. Can't forget the boring repetitive gameplay. Oh, and they don't want you to pay for the game once but multiple times over with DLC, battle passes, and of course overwhelming microtransactions so they can make some sort of a live service. I'm starting this video on a more negative note to showcase a side of gaming people are tired of, this new modern game trend that's causing more and more people to steer away from games altogether. However, there was a recent release that still gives me hope, and that game is Pizza Tower. Alright, fine, and Hi-Fi Rush. Seriously? Alright, I guess I have to read this out. Created by Tango Gameworks, known for their work on The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo. While the game entered development around the same time as Ghostwire, the devs kept the project secret to almost everyone due to it being such a massive departure from the company's prior games. You know, not being a horror-based game. It also contains multiple licensed songs from artists like Nine Inch Nails, The Black Keys, The Joy Formidable, and more. Now, with that boring shit out of the way, here's something interesting. Did you know? Hi-Fi Rush wasn't actually announced until a leak a day before the game's launch. While the details of the leak aren't much to talk about, being a trademark, a logo, and some supposed concept art, the very next day, the game would be announced and released the very same day. While many would be baffled by the decision to have the bare minimum of marketing for this game, having one trailer and next to no hype, it would pay off due to being available on Xbox Game Pass and hoping people would talk about the game, something they'd end up doing a lot in the coming weeks. In fact, here I am now talking about this game. So what's up with Hi-Fi Rush? Well, I'll tell you what. It's so fucking good! It is a masterclass of modern gaming! I mean, it's a brilliant hack-and-slash game in line with many games like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. The music choice is top tier, as well as the original compositions being just as good. The visuals, oh, the visuals, get my artist brain going. And those characters, the designs are great, and their voice actors killed it with their voices, their personalities. Great. Hi, just stopping this video for just a brief moment to tell you that this video was sponsored by my Patreon. Okay, sorry, just wanted to get that out there. Didn't really have a better place to put it. I'll let y'all get back to watching the video now. It is Game of the Year material, and it's only in the first couple months! Okay. I gotta calm down a little bit here. But I just can't help myself! I am not even kidding when I say this game is top-tier Game of the Year material in the first months of the year. We've had some major releases this year that just pale in comparison to this game in almost all fronts. Let's start things with the gameplay, since I feel that's a good place as any to start this video on. The game is a hack and slash similar to DMC or Bayonetta. You have light and heavy attacks that chain together in unique combos with their own special properties. You have a grappling hook to close the distance between enemies, a really satisfying parry. You can call in various allies to assist you, and there's special attacks that can be activated when your special meter is filled enough. But then you combine all of that with the inclusion of rhythm mechanics. Light attacks only need one beat and are quick and easy to change together, like ba, da, 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 and bow. Heavy attacks always take 2 beats to do and are like ba, da, and ba, and ta. And then there's more complicated combos like ba, da, 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 and You get the point. Not only that, but this game has taken design cues from another favorite rhythm game of mine. You might not have heard of it. It's called Mad Rat Dead. In that game, in order to simply move forward, you had to have rhythm by timing your dash button to the beat of the music. A great mechanic I will praise time and time again, and I am praising once again right now. And this game has had the same idea. Instead of hold shift to sprint, you can instead press the button and it will do a little dash. Chain this 3 times for a larger leap forward, being the fastest way to move without potential speedrun tag. The only thing I can say is that parrying is really strong. It's a 1-beat move that comes out instantly, so if you see attacks coming your way, just parry to the beat and you'll be perfectly fine. Well, unless the enemy has like half-beat attacks and whatnot. This game's combat is fantastic. Like, I am a combat snob. Your game don't have fun ways to beat the shit out of your enemies, I ain't playing it. But this game has some of the best combat in the genre, and if you think that's hyperbole, if you think that's hyperbole, no. This game's combat would make me rock hard, but I got nothing down there, so, you know. Let's just move on to the music, y'all. When it comes to rhythm games, one of the most important aspects of the game is that of the music. Do it poorly and people won't want to play your game. Do it well and your game and its soundtrack go down as one of the best ever. Just look at Mad Rat Dead. Not my video of it, it's outdated, although some extra views would be appreciated. And a subscription. And a ring-a-ling of that bell. Hi-Fi Rush is no exception. It manages to have banger OSTs, even going so far as to add new compositions for the licensed music. If you're recording a video for YouTube like me, don't forget to like, comment, and scribble. And if you actually can listen to the licensed music, let me just say it's got some seriously good music choices here, especially with how they work with the rest of the OST. My favorite songs being the 9 Inch Nails songs, Free Radicals by the Flaming Lips, Worrying by the Joy Formidable, and Invaders Must Die by the Prodigy. I'm just glad that there is a streamer mode and it actually has good music on there. Maybe not as good as the licensed music, but if you played the game with streamer mode, it's still a blast. Plus, it beats other games that have licensed music and don't have a way to mute it other than turning off all the music. Hideous Kojimbus' Deathicus Stranditis. So yes, this is an OST I still actively listen to outside of the game itself, mainly the licensed music, but again, actual original music is not bad at all, but it still doesn't beat out Mad Rat Dead's OST as like the best thing ever made. You know, come to think of it, I should really remake that video. So be sure to slamble the summoners bimble dat for rat. This game has characters. And if you know me, well, I guess you could call it my favorite obsession. See, I have a passion for character design, and that doesn't just mean visually. Don't get me wrong, these characters visually are quite something to behold, but character design goes farther than visuals. If that were the case, it'd be easy to create good characters. But this game is a good way to showcase why characters need those extra elements. Their personalities are all unique, make sense, and add to their visual design. I don't think Zanzo would be as entertaining if he weren't overly dramatic and didn't have a body pillow of himself in his office, which he more than likely sleeps with. But then there's also writing. I know this is tougher to comprehend, but you need your characters to be well written for their personalities to truly shine, and this game once again perfectly showcases that fact with the brilliant writing of all the characters. Chai is your lovable idiot main character with lofty aspirations. Peppermint is the hot-headed straight man of the duo. There's a goddamn robot cat and more friends you meet along the way.
Really locked out of the pacifist route?
I'd probably say so.
That's an Undertale reference. I'd know. Not only that, the villains are absolutely the stars of the show. I mean, come on, I already mentioned Zanzo, but the head of production, Rekka, being this big wrestler lady who is a total joy when she's on screen, having my favorite boss theme. Corsica is literally everyone's favorite character. She's the head of security with this Irish accent and is usually a no-nonsense kind of person, but she does have moments where that facade falters. Even the main villain, Kale, is a riot when he's on screen. I thought he'd be my least favorite, but no. That award goes to Mimosa. Oh boy, you should have seen this one coming. I am a huge fan of animation. I really want to get into it sometime, but it's a bit tough at the moment, so I make do with what I can do. That being still images. The visuals of this game are top-notch, combining both 3D visuals and the occasional 2D visuals. During bosses, they can power up, creating this dope visual effect. Sometimes cutscenes will become 2D animations for quite literally no reason at all, but it's totally worth it, I promise you. The only complaint I can see myself having is that if you change anyone's costume, the costume won't actually update in the animated cutscenes. So my advice for you, don't change your clothes. They even take some cues from Guilty Gear, having animations that are rendered at 24 FPS or lower based on complexity. Use plenty of squash and stretch, deform the mesh, use cell shading, it's all there, and it's all amazing. The game visually is fantastic. It's filled with so much love and passion for animation as a whole, and when combined with other elements, it paints a beautiful, complete picture. It just works. It's plainly obvious that I love this game, judging my at times geeky ramblings, but it's because no game in recent years has had me react this way, in the same way this game has. I firmly believe and hope that this game can be the catalyst for change in modern AAA gaming. As I mentioned earlier, modern games have tons of problems. They overly monetize themselves, release themselves in broken states that take updates upon updates to fix, not all of them actually being fixed at the end of it all. And then there's even the problem of the game just not being fun at the end of it all. Tango once changed the flow of survival horror years and years ago with the release of The Evil Within. When it released, games like Resident Evil were becoming more and more action-oriented. But after that game, they started going back to their roots, creating some of the most iconic horror games in recent years. I want to believe that Tango can change the tide of gaming once more. With this game, is it wishful thinking? Yes, most definitely. In reality, big business will just keep doing what it's been doing. But also, that's what Hi-Fi Rush is about. If you've played this game yourself, and you, instead of thinking of Vandelay as a robotics company, think of it as a video game company, you'll begin to see comparisons popping up left, right, and center. Take R&D. Zanzo always wants his projects to be bigger and more extravagant, but doing so cuts so deeply into his budget he can never truly do what he wants to do. And overworking his staff while simultaneously cutting back their wages, it reminds me of the horror stories of working at Naughty Dog. Mimosa is the head of marketing, and her idea of marketing is to tie the branding to things like pop star idols. Reminds me of League of Legends with KDA, and after that, all the other fictional bands they started creating after KDA's success. Even the overall narrative of Vandelay used to be a force for good, but now it's just used as a way to generate loads of money. It reminds me of a common sentiment in the gaming community. Hi-Fi Rush is the deepest, most thought-provoking criticism of modern AAA gaming to date, and it feels like the devs knew this. They knew the assignment and just went hog wild with it. Okay, enough of this quietness. Let's have one last major geek out moment with some of the things I couldn't quite fit into the script now, shall we? Also, spoiler warning for the entirety of the rest of the game. All right, are you ready? All right, let's go. Did you notice that in the first tutorial segment when the imaginary crowd is chanting, "Chai, Chai, Chai, Chai," you can actually hear the crowd when you have an S-rank style meter, meaning it secretly teaches you, the player, about how it feels to have the best combo possible. I love that they have Sebastian and Joseph from The Evil Within as HR robots investigating happenings around the island. That's awesome little reference right there. In the Rekka fight, she has this move which is basically this big grab attack, and if you pay attention to the visuals for it, her big fist formed this semi-translucent material that looks almost exactly like a Unite morph from the Wonderful 101. Also in Rekka's fight, I can't tell if the start of Phase 3 is an Everhood reference, but considering that's a musical RPG, I want to say yes, it is in fact an Everhood reference, and if so, great job, devs! Zanzo is obviously one big JoJo reference. His dramatic gestures and the presence of his menacing comic text in most of his appearances point that out. But this reference goes one step deeper. In JoJo, many of the names of stands and such are musical references, like, for example, Aerosmith. But even Zanzo's name is based on a musical artist by the same name. I love the running gag of everyone running on various forms of caffeine, such as Zanzo having his own energy drink, which he absolutely would, the ongoing joke about the broken coffee machine, Kale accidentally shutting down the cafe when he shuts down the whole island, and he just really needs coffee. This game has a god-damned Xenogears reference. Once again, in line with the Rekka Everhood reference, I want to say that the dance battle sequence in Mimosa's fight is a reference to Rhythm Thief, and just like the Everhood reference, if that is the case, good job, devs. In Corsica's boss fight, her health bar reflects that of Chai's, but instead of being a guitar, it's her stick weapons. That's just a nice little detail. I love it. Oh my gosh, the cafeteria fight is so good. The enemy lineups are great. The music is so freaking good. The build-up leading to the whole main fights is enough to give me it's enough to give me chills. Hell, this whole chapter is the best in the game. And in line with that, Roquefort is such a great boss fight. I originally thought it was intended to be a joke fight because of how much running away he does in human form. But no, he's got one of the most genuinely fun fights in the whole game. He's got such fun musicality in his fight too, syncing far better to the music than any other fight. And he's a cyber werewolf. During the ending cutscene, I normally don't do this, but when Corsica and Peppermint are in the back of the truck, Peppermint has a little blushies and shy body language towards Corsica. I don't know about you, but I sure as hell ship it. You can play as the goddamn cat! This game is great. Go play it. I'm not asking at this point. Just do it.